Okay, it's time for the first buy or sell of the 2025 season. For those of you who are new to the channel, let me explain what happens. I ask you guys, the viewers, whether it be through Twitter or this time my YouTube community page, to give me your hot takes about a certain topic, this one being the 2025 season. You guys reply, and then I pick my favorite and tell you whether I agree with the takes, which means buy, or sell, disagree with those takes. If you want to get involved with these yourself, make sure you're either following me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc or are subscribed to the YouTube channel because, like I said, this episode, I took it from my YouTube community page, and if you are subscribed, you'll get notified when I make that post, and then you got a chance to be shouted out in the video. So without further ado, let's get going into this, and getting it started off with an absolute banger from Ryan Grant 7396, who says the entire AL East is going to finish above 500, and I'm telling you, I love this take. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, let me talk through it, but I love the idea behind this, because the Red Sox, Yankees, and Orioles, I think, are pretty much guaranteed locks to finish above 500. I think all three of those teams have a chance to win the division, and they are the best teams in the division without a doubt. The Rays, I'm honestly not as worried as I am about the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are a better team, but I am worried about them destroying the team if they have a bad first half, blowing it up at the trade deadline, moving on from players, and just kind of shedding some salary and getting worse this season to be better the following year. With expiring contracts like Vlad Jr., Bo Bichette, and even some of the pitchers that they could move off of, I think there's a world where the Blue Jays could sell at some point this year, and that would probably make them a below 500 team. So I'm actually going to buy this take because I really like the idea, but more than likely it's not going to happen. But in terms of hot takes, I think this one has the best chance to hit. So you know what, Ryan? I'm going to give you a buy on this one. Jonah Collins 3 says Ozzy Albies gets back to his old form and hits 35 homers and 100 plus RBIs. Ooh, okay. So for context, Ozzy Albies has actually never hit 35 home runs in a season. He's drove in 100 runs twice, and it was the last two seasons where he played a full season. The 35 home runs, I think, is going to be the tough part. I don't know if he is a true 35 plus home run guy. I mean, 33 homers, 30 in the past in his 2 healthy seasons the last 4 years. Those are really close. So maybe a couple more balls fly out this year. Who knows? I am concerned about Ozzy Albies' injury history now. It feels like every other year or so, there's a little something that goes on Ozzy Albies' game with his health that causes him to miss some time. So I am going to sell this as the resident Ozzy Albies hater. I know I used to call him the most overrated player in baseball. I think there's someone who's taken that crown from him very easily. Ozzy Albies is very good, but I don't know if 35 and 100 is in his future this season, so I am going to sell. Also, I'm a Mets fan. I got to sell a positive Braves take. Calvin Sandboard 5294 says Mike Trout plays 150 games and the Angels are the third wild card. Oh, okay. See, you had me until you said the Angels are the third wild card, because I think that's absolutely insane. That's nuts. I think that team legitimately stinks. That being said, if Mike Trout plays 150 games, they definitely at least will have a chance at that third wild card, because the American League is so weak, because there are not a lot of teams really jumping out ahead of the pack as like amazing, clear and obvious favorites to make the playoffs besides the division winners. It is a little bit more up for grabs. This is going to be tough. This is going to be difficult. Mike Trout hasn't played 150 games in forever, it feels like. Mike Trout actually hasn't played 150 games in almost a decade. 2016 was the last time he played over 150 games, which is crazy. His previous high was 140 back in 2018. But since 2021, Mike Trout has not played more than 119 games in a season. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to take the rational route here and sell it. As good as Mike Trout is, I don't know if he gets 150. I think 120 is a reasonable spot to ask for him, and I just don't think they're going to be a third wild card team. Okay, Gels04 gives us a long one. They say Brewers make the World Series. Yelich, with a healthy back after surgery, has a monster season combined with the young talent coming into their own making for a strong lineup. Pair that with great pitching and Woodruff coming back. Brew Crew are being slept on. I agree with you. I think the Brew Crew are being slept on. You gave me a lot of information here, though. Making the World Series, I have to sell. I think they are one of the 6 teams that are the best in the National League right now, but I think it's going to be really difficult for them to get through the Dodgers, to get through the Mets, to maybe even get through the Chicago Cubs in their own division. I think the Brewers and the Cubs right now are the 2 best teams in the NL Central. You're also asking for a lot from Christian Yelich. It's terrifying. He's had so many back injuries in his career. He's had so many just setbacks. When he's healthy, he's awesome, and I'm really hoping that Christian Yelich can come back and give us a full healthy season, go back to being a top player in the league like he once was. But there are a lot of injury concerns with Yelich. Now, the young players like Jackson Chourio, Garrett Mitchell, I think they're going to pop off this year. Jackson Chourio, I'm just such a huge fan of. He's amazing. And Brandon Woodruff coming back, I think is low-key being major slept on. So I love the idea that the Brew Crew are being slept on. I'm not going to be sleeping on them like I was last year, but I am going to have to sell the take because they're just not making the World Series, in my opinion. Nasty Pickle 25 says Shane Bieber and Jacob deGrom come back from injury and both finish top 3 in Cy Young voting. So the one issue that I have is it's probably more likely that Shane Bieber starts the year on the IL than he does on the opening day roster healthy, and that's going to hurt him in terms of Cy Young voting. Now, when he comes back, could he pitch like a top 3 Cy Young candidate? 100%. It's really going to matter what his fastball velo looks like because it has been dropping the last few years. But we know that when Shane Bieber is healthy, he is so incredibly disgusting. Now, Jacob deGrom, on the other hand, I think think if he has a healthy season, he's going to go immediately back to being one of the 2-3 best pitchers in Major League Baseball. Even in the small samples that we've seen from Jacob deGrom over the last few years, he has been absolutely dominant. There's no one that's got the stuff, velo, and location that Jacob deGrom has. His command is out of control good, along with just having devastatingly good stuff. So I will have to sell this take as well. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell the Shane Bieber one, but I'm going to buy the Jacob deGrom take. Of course, I'm a biased Mets fan. I got to rep my boy deGrom. I really want him to do well in Texas. Jonah T506 says Patrick Bailey stops hitting from both sides and absolutely turns it around at the plate, cementing himself as a top 5 catcher in the league. Okay, does Patrick Bailey have a clear and obvious switch hitting problem? I want to look into these stats before I make a comment. I haven't heard this anywhere, so Jonah, if you figured something out here, that would be fascinating to see. I'll say this, I don't know if there is really a switch hitting problem with Patrick Bailey right now. It's not something that I've looked enough into. Looking at the numbers on a base level, last year he struggled as a right-handed batter, but in the previous year he was fine, so maybe it's a small sample size thing. Maybe it was just a bad season. I don't know if he's going to be a top 5 catcher in the league. I'll tell you this, if he hits at all, anywhere even close to league average, yes, he will be a top 5 catcher in the league because his defense is so incredibly good. But I don't know if he stops switch hitting from both sides, and truthfully, I don't know that if even stopping switch hitting is going to make him become a league average hitter. There are a lot of concerns with his game offensively. Defensively, he's the best catcher in baseball, but I gotta sell this. Blade125 says Rob Manfred announces expansion teams for the 2027 season. I think we are getting very, very close to expansion in Major League Baseball. There are a lot of amazing cities that deserve to have a Major League Baseball team. I think there needs to be a Major League Baseball team in one of the Carolinas. Charlotte makes the most sense because it's literally on the border of both North and South Carolina. Well, it's in North Carolina. It's basically on the border of South Carolina. The Braves literally own the Southeast. There's nobody else even close to the Braves that has any sort of impact with fandom in the Southeast like the Braves do. They have like 10 states that they control. I think we could get a team in Vancouver. I think we could get a team in Nashville. I think they deserve one. I think we might get another team maybe back in Montreal. They're considering Orlando. There are a lot of options and a lot of places where teams would make a lot of sense. I don't know if the 2027 season is going to be the time. That feels very, very soon. Like you got to either have stadiums already built, you got to be building them and people don't know about it. That feels like it's way too quick of a time, but I'll just buy the take that Rob Manfred announces that there will be expansion teams by the 2027 season. As in, we will know where they're going. I don't know when their first season will be, but I love that take there, Blade. That's a fun one. Quirky Baseball says the Cardinals, after losing out on Goldschmidt and eventually Arenado, have 100+ loss season. Ooh, wow, that's a spicy one. 25 people like this as well, so people wanted me to talk about it. I don't think they're going to lose 100+ games. Like, I think this Cardinals team stinks, and I think they're going to get worse again, because if there's anybody that they can trade, it feels like they will. They need to go into a rebuild. They are in trouble. I don't understand what John Mozeliak's doing over there. I don't know what their formula for success is anymore. It seems like they are stuck in old school baseball when everybody else is adapting the modern game. The Cardinals used to be one of the peak organizations in baseball. You wanted to be like the Cardinals. No longer is that the case. I think they're going to stink, but I don't think they lose 100 games or more than 100 games this year, so I am going to have to sell it, but I'm all here for the Cardinals slander and hate. Kegerator says Grayson Rodriguez stays healthy, puts up a sub 3.3 ERA on track to becoming a true #1 starter for the Orioles. You know what? I'm going to buy this one instantly. I'm a Grayson Rodriguez believer. He's way too good of a pitcher to be playing at the level that we've seen, and it's not been bad, but it hasn't been that top prospect, top pitcher, frontline starter quality that we expected. But a lot of it has had to do with injuries, and now that Grayson Rodriguez looks like he's going to be healthy, could have a fully healthy season, I think there's definitely a world where he takes that jump to the next level to become a frontline true ace for this Baltimore Orioles team, and they desperately need it because they lost out on Corbin Burns. They didn't go after the pitching market at all. They need Grayson Rodriguez to be that guy, and at 25 years old, in his 25-year-old season, I think there's a really good chance that happens. Oh, this one is awesome. I love this. Ryan Hubner 5779 says AJ Preller takes a psychedelic trip and trades Tatis in a Luka Doncic-esque fashion. Oh my God. This is without a doubt one of my favorite takes I've ever seen on Buy or Sell, and I'm buying it. I think there's totally a world where the Padres might have to get crazy and consider trading Fernando Tatis Jr. for the betterment of their franchise moving forward. Now, let me say this. A big part of that reason is because the ownership stuff is just a little bit messy, and because they don't really have a TV deal. The money is a little bit more dry than it has been the last few years, and that's unfortunately one of the consequences of their owner, Peter Seidler, passing away, who just cared so much about this team and wanted to see them be successful no matter what. I don't think it's likely that this happens, but I do love this take, so I'm going to buy it. I don't know about the psychedelic trip part. That's a little crazy, but also at the same time, if there was ever a player that is a monster player that maybe needs a change of scenery that could get traded, it feels like Fernando Tatis Jr. would be that guy, and the Padres would get an insane amount back. The only thing that's a little bit concerning is his contract is super expensive and for a long time, but I think 99% of teams who would be interested in Fernando Tatis Jr. don't care about the money or the length of that because he's so young and so talented. I really like that one. on Ryan Hubner. That's crazy. Jack Marcos says Bregman hits 35 home runs for the Red Sox and they will clinch the division in mid-September. Yeah, I'm going to throw 10 buys all over this. I think we are buying low on the Red Sox winning the AL East right now. This team, I think, is destined to be very, very dangerous this year. I know they might not have the flashiest of names on the pitching side, but I love everything that they did this offseason. It feels like Craig Breslow is doing a really good job. And also, shout out Chaim Bloom. A huge reason why I believe in what the Red Sox are going to do this season is because of the prospects and the development that happened under the Chaim Bloom era. It's funny that he is going to be an integral part of why this Red Sox team is so successful in the future, and yet they fired him. That being said, Craig Breslow has done a great job as well. I don't think he's a problem. But their offense is loaded. Duran, Devers, Bregman, Casas, Trevor Story, Wilyer Abreu. Like, I love all those guys. Can Trevor Story bounce back? Connor Wong's even a good 8-hitter. Zidane Raphael is a good player. Christian Campbell should be called up. Roman Anthony should be called up at some point. That's a nice youth influx that has such high potential. And then on the pitching side, Garrett Crochet is awesome. Tanner Houck was great last year. Brian Bayo, I think, might break out this year. It feels like this could be the season. Walker Buehler, great move. Lucas Giolito, scary, but we've seen him be a top pitcher before. Cutter Crawford has been great as a back-end starter. And then the bullpen, you've got Liam Hendricks, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Whitlock. Justin Slayton was amazing last year. Greg Weisert's really good. Josh Winkowski. Keep an eye out for Josh Winkowski. Think he could be sneaky as well. Along with all the young, great players that they have, I think this Red Sox team is super dangerous. Again, I've said it in this video even. I'm buying this take, and Bregman is going to eat in Boston. I'm not going to say he's like an MVP candidate, but I'd definitely take a look at what his odds are to win the American League MVP. And if it's anything like plus 3,000 or higher, I would super be all over that for like a quick $5-10 on a whim. Damn, Blade is making on here twice. Can I find someone else who talks about the A's in a positive way? Okay, I found someone else. Their name is Coopertown_95, and he says Brent Rooker leads the American League in home runs, finishes top 5 in MVP voting, leading the A's to a wild card appearance. Ooh, do I like this one? This feels kind of crazy. Yeah, if Brent Rooker hits like 300 with a 900 OPS, 40 homers, 100 RBIs, which I think could be possible because they're playing in a minor league ballpark, and that's going to definitely help him as opposed to playing in Oakland last year where he still hit 39 home runs. Wow, Brent Rooker was so good last year. I'm buying it 100%. I've made a bet that Oakland's going to win the division because the odds are crazy, but I really love the moves that they made this offseason. I think they have a lot of great young players built around a guy like Brent Rooker in the middle of that lineup who's just going to absolutely mash. I love this. I'm high on the A's. It sucks for Oakland that now that they leave, they go and sign good players. Now that they leave, it seems like they're going to make better. They extended Kotsay. It seems like they are building up to be maybe a good team when they get to Las Vegas at some point. So that sucks for Oakland fans. But the A's are doing better things than they have in the past, and I hate to say because John Fisher stinks, but they're putting together a better team this year, and I love this take by Coopertown. DXPM626 says Justin Verlander has one more decent season with the Giants, then retires. You know what? I'm going to actually buy this one too. I was doing some research into pitchers the last couple days, and I've noticed that Justin Verlander had a couple really interesting things in his game that makes me think he still might have a modicum of success left, along with the fact that it'll be in San Francisco, one of the most pitcher-friendly ballparks. There's a pitching model on Fangraphs made by Eno Saris called Stuff Plus, and it basically tells you how good someone's stuff is, how much better it is than league average. There's also Location Plus, which tells you how good they are at locating. Verlander last year was subpar on Location Plus, 93. That is below league average, but his Stuff Plus was 110. His slider still graded amazingly well. His curveball graded really well. His changeup graded really well. The fastball was about a league average pitch, and that makes sense because he's just not going to have the same hop and just same speed on it as he has in the past. He's 41 years old. But in San Francisco, in a better ballpark that is so much better for pitchers as opposed to Houston, a little tweak here to the location with that good stuff, throwing more breaking balls, maybe less fastballs. I think Verlander could have one more good year left in him. Like a fine wine, he only gets better with age. I think this could be one of the last times I ever say it, but I think Justin Verlander could have a nice year, so I'm going to buy this take. Chris Mitsas 102 says Juan Soto struggles mightily in his first year as a New York Met. Sell, sell, sell. He better not. Don't put that out there. Sell. No, he's going to be fantastic. He's going to be great. He's 26 years old, 27, however old he is. He's so young. He's younger than me. He's a stud. He's one of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best players in baseball. He got paid. He's in New York in a great lineup. He's going to have a great season. Sell. I don't want to hear that shit. Second to last one here. James Wood is a top 10 player in the league according to WAR. Oh, ooh, I kind of like this one. That's kind of fun. Let me see what he did in terms of F-WAR last year. So in 79 games, 1.2, he's projected for 3.1. Okay, I have to sell it, but I think at some point James Wood is going to be one of the top 10 players in Major League Baseball. I did a TikTok at some point last year predicting the best players in the league 5 years from now, and James Wood was in my top 10 because I do believe it. Defensively, he was dog shit last year. He was horrible out in the outfield, so he's definitely going to need to improve there. The arm is also not very good, but at the plate, I mean, this guy has some generational stuff going on, especially in the power department. He hits the ball so friggin' hard. He doesn't chase, he walks, and he hits bombs. He's only 22, so I'm not going to go there just yet, but James James Wood has a chance within the next couple seasons to easily be one of the 10 best players in the league. But I am going to have to sell this as of right now, as much as I love how aggressive you're being. And last but not least, we have Husker Ninja saying Spencer Schwellenbach finishes top 5 in NL Cy Young voting. Yeah, unfortunately, I am buying this one. I am all in on Spencer Schwellenbach. I've been all in on Spencer Schwellenbach since the Braves drafted him back in 2021. Check the tapes, roll the footage, whatever it is. On my video talking about the best picks after the first round, I said Spencer Schwellenbach for the Braves was easily their best pick. I thought he was an awesome prospect. And then he came up and he was even better than I thought he was going to be. Like, I thought he was truthfully going to be a middle of the rotation guy at his peak. But based on what he showed us last year in his 123 innings, this guy has the chance to be a future ace. The stuff is awesome, but even more so, the command is amazing from Spencer Schwellenbach. The stuff is great. The slider's filthy. The fastball's really good. He throws like 6 different pitches, which gives him such a unique look. So difficult to predict what's coming next. He throws them all pretty evenly too. He throws the 4-seam, slider, cutter, curve, splitter, and sinker. That's not fair, especially when the fastball's 97, 98 miles an hour at times, especially when he gets devastating whiffs. He doesn't walk anybody. Nobody barrels up the baseball. Spencer Schwellenbach is awesome, and I definitely think he could finish in the top 5 of Cy Young voting this year. 123 innings. He is primed to give you 160, 170. Amazing inning this year, maybe even close to 180, 190. He's a freak. He's disgusting. As long as he's healthy, I have to buy this take, even though he's on the Braves. So there it is, the first buy or sell of the 2025 season. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking down in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can be involved in the next buy or sell that I do on my community page, or follow me on any of my social medias. GiraffeNeckMarc, links are always in the description. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and that's where I'll wrap it up. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all on the next video. Bye.